So, what's up, guys? Well, I'm doing another video talking about the render. I don't know if you guys had a good day yesterday. So, I thought I would do another video today talking about the horrendous events that took place on Monday. Obviously, a young girl fell into the Thames. There was also an incident in North London on Monday as well. A young boy on one of those line bikes involved in a collision with a car. He's now recovering in hospital from his injuries. He was taken to a nearby trauma centre where he's doing well and recovering from his injuries. Now, the young girl, the 11-year-old girl who fell into the Thames on Monday, has been named as Kaliya. That is her name. Now obviously, I was saying about this yesterday. I do feel for her parents, because this is an extremely tragic incident in which a child has lost their life, and no parent ever deserves to go through that. I also feel sorry for the two young kids that were there, that were with her as well, that obviously saw it happen. We know that the young boy that was there, I think he was about 8 years old. He was actually holding her hand and trying to get her out of the water, but her hand slipped, and he wasn't able to get her out and everything. He's probably been left incredibly traumatized by what happened on Monday, and I think a lot of people have probably been left quite devastated by what happened on Monday, by the events that happened. I mean, obviously, you kind of have to blame her dad though, because her dad did allow her to go paddling in the Thames when he probably shouldn't have done that. What it was, she called her dad and asked her dad if she could go paddling in the Thames, and he allowed her to do that. And now, the reality of the situation is, I think most parents wouldn't allow their child to do that. I think most parents, I think most parents, if their child asked if they could do that, would probably say no, because it isn't really safe. It's not, it is a bit dangerous. So I think most parents would probably say to them, no, get away from there. You know, it wouldn't allow most parents wouldn't allow their child to go paddling in the Thames. You know, the thing is with things like that, it only takes, as I said yesterday, things only take, it only takes a few seconds for something to go wrong. Unfortunately, something has gone wrong. I mean, obviously, we know that she's been in the water for well over 24 hours. Almost it'll very soon be 48 hours since she entered the water. There's no way she's still alive. I think the problem is now. I think her body could be anywhere. There's no real knowing where her body actually is now, because it's been nearly 48 hours. Her body could be anywhere. It's like the other year when they had the London Bridge. Or this year, it's like the other year when they had the London Bridge terror attack. And a guy, I think he either jumped into the river, or he fell. He was knocked off the bridge into the river. I don't know, but he ended up in the Thames, and his body was actually found down here by Limehouse. So his body had obviously travelled all that way down to here. That's the thing is, just it's, as I said, like the River Thames is so big, like there's just no knowing where exactly her body is now, because it could be, it could be anywhere. I mean, it's like, well, it's like, how likely are they to actually find her body? It's like, is that gonna happen? I hope they do find her body at some point, but it's not gonna be an easy task. It must be quite awful for all of the emergency services that have been involved with the search as well. Obviously, it might hit quite close to home for some of them, because they may be parents themselves. I mean, this is obviously an awful situation, especially considering the fact that a child was involved in that incident and has obviously lost her life. Obviously now named as Helia Hoa, 11 years old, entering the water on Monday afternoon, and hasn't been seen since. Her body's not been found as of yet. As of time of recording, it's not been confirmed that her body's been found, so they're still looking for it. Whether they will actually find her body or not, I do not know, because the sad thing about it is, obviously, because her body's been in the water for so long now, it could be anywhere. I think I mean, it's been nearly 48 hours since it happened. There's no knowing where her body is at this point. It is extremely horrible. So they reported the scene near the Woolwich Ferry. It was near the Woolwich Ferry. Well, it's all close to London City Airport, near Woolwich Ferry. Well, it's nearer to Woolwich Ferry, but they reported the scene at around 1:15 p.m. on Monday afternoon. She entered the water around 1:15, at around 1:15, and the emergency services arrived on the scene at around 1:23 p.m. So they obviously, I think they called it around 1:23 p.m., around 8 minutes after it first happened, or something like that. But obviously, if you think about it, right? All of her kids in her school yesterday, they would have returned to school yesterday, completely unaware of what happened the day before, completely unaware that someone that they would have seen in school every day has just died. Basically, and knowing that they won't see her again. Obviously, it must be hard for the teachers as well. Like, it's just awful circumstances. Set of extremely awful circumstances. For everyone involved. Because this is a situation where a child has ultimately lost their life. And that is really actually quite sad. Um, and you can't help but feel sorry for her and her family, for everything, everything they've gone through, recently. It's just unbelievable. Like, it's kind of hard to sort of put it into words, like how her family must be feeling right now, and how her mum and dad. I mean, I'm not trying, as I was talking about this yesterday, and I'm not trying to, make her dad feel guilty about what happened, but I am saying that, I think what a lot of people would probably be saying, and that is, why did he make that decision to allow her to paddle in the Thames? Why did he allow her to do something that wasn't really safe, and it was actually quite dangerous? Because at the end of the day, I mean, personally, wouldn't want to paddle in the Thames anyway, because I doubt the water in that, I doubt the water in that river is actually 100% clean. You know, it's like, why would you want to paddle in that river anyway? Like, that river is I mean, it can't be that, that water can't be too clean, and like, obviously, if you're paddling in that water, you could, actual hinder diseases, you don't want that. I'd rather paddle in the sea, is at least, paddling in the sea is not too bad, really. But paddling in the Thames, probably not a good idea, because the water probably isn't that clean, and it might make you a bit unwell. Especially, you don't want your skin. It might not do. It probably won't do your skin any good. To be honest. But yeah, I do. I mean, obviously, I feel sorry for everyone that who's been involved, who's been affected by this incident on Monday. My thoughts, as I said yesterday, my thoughts, my sympathies go out to the family, go out to her family, and go out to her loved ones, her friends, and to everyone who has been, you know, who has been, horribly affected, who's been really affected by this incident. And like, it's just hard to, it's always hard to talk about things like this, because a child has lost their life, and it's just horrible to think about, the fact that she lost her child in such in such a tragic set of circumstances. To be honest, I'm thinking that, like her dad probably didn't think that anything was going to go wrong. He obviously he wasn't to know. I mean, in fairness, obviously, as I this is the thing. Like her dad obviously wasn't to know that that was going to happen. He wasn't to know that something was going to go wrong. There was no way that he could have known that. There was no. But I think the sad thing about this situation is it's a situation that had have been avoided. It was something that never needed to happen. It never needed to happen, and you look at it and you think, well, if her dad hadn't have allowed her to do that, it wouldn't have happened. If he hadn't allowed her to paddle in the Thames, that probably wouldn't have happened. If he'd have told her to stay away from the water, which is maybe what he should have done, then they wouldn't be in this situation where their daughter then where people are now looking for their daughter's body. And as I said, I'm not trying to blame them for what happened, but I'm just saying that had they not allowed her to do that, it probably would never have happened. And I think we all know that. We all know that had he not allowed her to do had he not allowed her to do that, it wouldn't have happened. She was on. It's sad to think that she was on obviously she was on a day off from school because obviously most of the schools here in the UK would have been closed on Monday for Eid. That's always been a thing. That's always been a thing. Obviously, schools are closing for Eid, and she was on a day off, and the weather was obviously quite nice on Monday. It was actually quite warm, but it's like, why would you, at the end of the day, um, whether you're a child, whether you're an adult, you should never go paddling in the Thames. It's never a safe thing to do, regardless of whether you're a child, whether you're an adult. Stay well away from there because it's not safe. It is sad that a child has lost their life, and it's a situation where the child never needed to lose their life. And the child wouldn't have lost their life or wouldn't have ended up in that situation if her father hadn't have allowed her to do that. So at the end of the day, she's called her dad. She's asked her dad, can I go paddling in the Thames? Why did he allow her to do that? That's what I think everybody's sort of thinking is, why did he allow her to do that? And people can't be blamed for questioning that. People can't be blamed for looking at that and going, well, why did he allow her to paddle in the Thames? Why did he not say no? Which is what he should have done. He should have, when she called him and asked him if he could go paddling in the Thames, he should have said to her, no, get away from there. Especially, considering the fact that she had the two younger kids with her. I think if she had been on her own, it wouldn't have been too bad. But I think it's the fact that she had two younger kids with her, and they've had to obviously see something they should never have had to see. They've obviously probably been left extremely traumatized by what happened on Monday. They've probably been left very shaken up. They probably need a lot of therapy and a lot of counseling. A lot of counseling for to kind of get over what happened. And it's probably not that boy, the 8-year-old who was trying to actually help her out of the water, who was holding her hand. He's probably going to be haunted by that forever. As he was holding her hand, trying to help her get out, and her hand slipped. Um, it's a horrible situation for any child to be in, and especially a child that young, they should never have had to see something like that happen. And they wouldn't have had to see something like that happen if she had not been allowed to paddle in the Thames, which is something she should not have been allowed to do. And I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to, as I said, I'm not trying to blame any, put the portion of blame on anyone. I do feel sorry for her parents. Absolutely, I do. I feel sorry for any parent that's obviously lost a child. No parent should ever have to go through that. But this is one of those situations where the parent was kind of to blame for what happened, because the parent allowed their child to do something they should not have allowed them to do. it's just a horrible, horrible situation for everyone involved, and you can't help but feel sorry for those affected by this. As I said, my thoughts, my sympathies, my condolences go out to them. My heart is with them. Today, like I feel heartbroken for them. I really do. But it's an awful situation. It really is. So I thought I would give my thoughts on that. Hopefully, they do find her body. Although I don't, as I said, I don't know how likely that is now because her body's been in the water for nearly 48 hours. She'll be anywhere by now. Will they find her? Won't they find her? Who knows? Hopefully we'll hear more of an update on that in the coming days. It's only been 2 days now, and I presume that they'll probably be searching for her body for at least another few days. Um, for at least for at least next week or so. They won't give up the search just yet. But I think they'll want to make sure they want to find her body. For if they can do that, which I don't know if they will. Definitely, I'm not 100% confident that they will be able to find her body because obviously her body's been in the water now for so long. It's like, will they find it? I honestly don't know. I'm not confident, but hopefully, that's all hope for the best. You know, so thought I'd give my general thoughts on that. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you for another one very soon. Bye.